What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. You know I got another banger for you, so kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
The first week of women's college hoops has concluded, and it was an emotional roller coaster filled with highs and lows. Now, I want to say before we get into it, it's still very early in the season. A lot of these teams are far from finished products. They will look completely different in the coming months. Nothing here is final. We're just talking about what we're seeing and what we've seen so far. A new AP poll came out, and South Carolina remains number one. Now, on the winners and losers side, South Carolina is definitely a winner, and we got to start off there with Coach Don Staley's bunch. For one, they have the best win in the entire country, the only team to play and beat a top 10 team in the country when they knocked off number 9 NC State in impressive fashion. Now, we've grown accustomed to seeing a certain style of brand of basketball at South Carolina where they always have a dominant big that is the number one option, that commands a double team, that opens it up for shooters around them. This season, there are a lot of bigs. The depth is there. But the star power isn't what we're accustomed to seeing. There's none of these players have assumed the number one alpha position, the go-to scorer for this group. We have not seen a Camila Cardoso or a Leah Boston arise out of this talented front court, deep front court, but there's not a number one true low-scoring post option that's going to command a double team. Game 1, they had Chloe Kitts, who looks like she's in for a breakout year. 19 points, 14 rebounds in their first game. She seems like she could be ready to take on that number one scoring option. She's shooting 50% from the field, can shoot the three, extend the defense, open things up. She can get it off the dribble. She's looked super aggressive on the boards, and she's put on some muscle as well. So I think she is the most likely candidate to break out and be that number one scoring option. But they had to play this top 10 matchup without her. She was out for academic reasons, which we found out. One was a major loss, but two, it's only for one game. When I went live the other day, we didn't know for sure how long she would be out. So Chloe Kitts will be back for their next game, which is big news. But Tessa Johnson is out now for this group, and she tweaked her ankle, only played 9 minutes in the last game. So that's kind of like a loss as well. You get Ashlyn Watkins back, you lose Chloe Kitts. You get Chloe Kitts back next game, but you lose Tessa Johnson. Will the injury bug be an issue for South Carolina? Will we see them at full strength before their next mega matchup? Because they have a daunting schedule coming up for sure. That is the question. But we're seeing them find different ways to play. Tahina Powell, Malaysia Fulwiley led the way for South Carolina. The perimeter scoring definitely set the tone. They're having to rely on their backcourt. Raven Johnson's shot hasn't been there, but she's still the glue player for this group. Getting assists, moving the basketball, playing good defense. Breezy Hall kind of still finding her way this season. But Tahina Powell, Malaysia Fulwiley are definitely ready to play. And they got to find some more minutes for Fulwiley for sure. Ashlyn Watkins' first game back, solid performance. They're going to need Chloe Kitts to bring this thing home, though, this year. So good that they're getting her back. Joyce Edwards looks solid as well, but we're seeing a team that doesn't have a dominant post presence, and it has been the bread and butter. I will say they looked really good in transition. They forced a lot of turnovers, had more than 15 points off turnovers. If they keep playing defense like that, this team is going to be on another level as far as transition offense. That's where we saw NC State went on some runs. They took the lead in the second before Malaysia Wiley fully took over this contest. Now we see that they may have to play faster. They may have to play a little smaller, and they may have to shoot more three-pointers than they have in the past. But they are finding different ways to win, and we know Coach Don Staley, after getting the 40th win consecutively, is not worried about wins in November. She's worried about getting this team battle-tested and pushing through the tournament come March and April. But South Carolina definitely winners in my book. Next up, we got Oregon, who got a big win and enters the AP poll at number 25 for the first time this season. Now, it was shocking when Deja Kelly left North Carolina after so many years of being a star there. Took her talents to Oregon, to a roster that really just didn't look that sexy and wasn't, opening many eyes, to be honest. Not a lot of expectations for Oregon. They were kind of looking like a doormat almost in the Big Ten. But they come in, knock off Baylor, get a big win against their first-ranked opponent, number 12 Baylor, and they move into the top 25. Deja Kelly has been sensational. Oregon knocked off Baylor 76-74, enters the top 25. And Deja Kelly was out there getting busy, man. And the veteran just looks comfortable. She's in her bag, and she proves that she is one of the most efficient and dangerous scorers in the entire country. She finished the game with 20 points, 5 assists, and 9 rebounds. A very well-rounded game. It wasn't just her, though. Alexis Whitfield shot the ball extremely well at 6'2", can spread the floor. She had 16 points, 1 assist, and 5 rebounds, as well as Nani Falatia, she had 12 points as well. So 3 players in double figures. Oregon spreading that rock, playing fast. They have good guard play. And y'all know in college, if you have a good guard play, you always get a chance. Seems like Deja Kelly made the correct decision for her, a good business decision to make that move to Oregon. It definitely probably had to be some NIL influence there for sure, and she's doing her thing on the sidelines reporting as well. But it seems like, yeah, she made the right decision. She gets a fresh start. Oregon's undefeated right now. They go into a game that most people probably didn't expect them to win. They fight hard, and they come away with it, and Kelly is a big reason why. I think she's definitely a WNBA type of talent. She looked good from the mid-range. She's a 3-level scorer. I like the 5 assists. I like that she's attacking the glass and stuffing the stat sheet, doing it on both ends. So respect to her. Oregon looks like a talented team. I think they're going to surprise some people. They feel like a squad that is definitely embracing that underdog situation that they got going on. A lot of people were really shocked, including myself, to see Deja Kelly leave UNC, where they probably would have been a top 10 team with her. They're 12th right now. They would have been a top 10 team with Deja Kelly. She has been the heart and the soul of that team for several years. So to see her bounce out of the SEC or out of the ACC to a random destination like Oregon was extremely strange, but early off in the season, it seemed like it's paying dividends, man. She looks confident. She looks smooth. She's operating in the pick and roll. They have put the ball in her hands and are just letting her go out there and make plays. They're playing fast. They have shooters. They're versatile. They have athletes. And Oregon might have something to say about that Big Ten. So definitely keeping a look on them. Staying with the Big Ten, Maryland did work in the transfer portal, really upgraded this roster. I like their coach, very passionate, very energetic, and you can tell that the players love playing for it. They got a big win as well, beating Duke, who was ranked 11th in the nation going into this contest. One of the ACC favorites. Maryland just came out there and really handled business. They pick up the win 85-80 over Duke. Complete team effort here, man. And they honestly, from the tip, really established themselves as the dominant force in this contest. Now, we got to talk about 2 players, though. Kayleen Smickle, who had 23 points, sharpshooting guard, getting to the bucket. Just one of the smoothest guards in the country, and definitely is going to be the number 1 scoring option for this team. Cheyenne Sellers, the other part of this backcourt, has 17. They play really well together. This is going to be a dangerous and versatile backcourt that's going to be able to score the basketball inside out. Sellers really is good in the mid-range, has the fadeaway, can get to the cup, nice size, finishes amongst the trees at 6'2". I like what Maryland is doing. They got a balanced attack. Of course, you got Brianna McDaniel there as well, knocking down shots from deep, spacing the floor open. Saylor Poffenberger is a player that they got out of the transfer portal that I'm expecting big things from her. She's having a slower start to the season, but I think she could be a big-time contributor with her size and shooting. But they're versatile, man. Shout out Christina Dawsey, holding down the paint. 14 rebounds for her, a game high for both sides. 12 points, very efficient double-double for her. They got some pieces. You can tell this team is energetic. They love playing with each other. They're 4-0, and they probably have the second biggest win in the country. They jumped up to number 11 in the polls as far as AP goes. And I just like how they're aggressive, man. Sellers and Smickle are 2 guards that can get to the cup, get to the free throw line, make shots, and keep you in games. Not only keep you in games, but win you games as well. And now the Big Ten is going to be a juggernaut. Most people are expecting USC and UCLA to lead the way, but don't sleep at Ohio State. Definitely don't sleep on Maryland. Don't sleep on Iowa. And don't sleep on Oregon either, man. The Big Ten is definitely going to be a gauntlet this year. And whoever walks out of there is going to absolutely be battle tested. Another winner in my book switching over, Oklahoma, man. When they landed Reagan Beers, we knew it was going to be a big time commitment. Her out of Oregon State. 6'4", one of the most skilled and just fundamentally sound bigs in the country. Great hands, great footwork, big body that understands how to use her positioning for leverage, boxing out, getting those boards. She's explosive, more explosive than I think she gets credit for. She's long, can snag those rebounds, and I absolutely think this was a major get for Oklahoma and what they're doing, and they're surprising some people too, man. I just think their size is going to be an issue for a lot of teams. If you don't have bigs that can compete on the glass, that can go in there and slow down these bigs, you're going to be in trouble, because not only is it Reagan Beers, but it's also Sahara Williams as well. One of the best front courts early on in the league that we're seeing. They go out and blow out a Virginia team who is no slouch. Like, this was a pretty solid team, a tough, pesky team. They go out and beat them by almost 50 points. Reagan Beers had 26 points, 2 assists, and 14 rebounds, and she's been absolutely dominant so far early in the season, averaging a double-double, averaging 14 rebounds, out there averaging 2 blocks as well. Reagan Beers is definitely in the conversation to be National Player of the Year already. The SEC is absolutely stacked. You got Texas, South Carolina, everything's running through Columbia. Don't sleep on LSU either. And Oklahoma, with them bigs, is definitely going to have something to say. And they're commanding so much attention, they're opening up the floor and finding shots for these three-point shooters. But Reagan Beers has been a player on an absolute mission. She's been the most dominant big in the country through several games. And she's got OU looking like a very scary opponent for a lot of these top teams if you have to match up with them. Sticking with the SEC, man, LSU, I know they're playing a cakewalk of a schedule. The way Flau'jae Johnson has attacked this season, I don't know if Simone Augustus has unlocked another level, but a switch has flipped, and she looks like the best guard in the country right now, averaging about 25 points a game. She has taken that next step of alpha, the number one scoring option, handling the basketball more as a playmaker with Last Terpoa out. She understands that she's waited 2 years and this is her team now. She's played for a championship. She's performed on the biggest stages, and she's continued to just carry this team. Anissa Morrow has been solid. We'll expect more from her. Samaya Smith has been a great addition to have her back as well. This team, Kaylin Gilbert, Cheyenne Day Wilson, Jersey Wolfenbarger, like, they've got some pieces that have come in. Miracle Shepherd, they're looking to get back. They've brought in some pieces to bolster this backcourt. The front court really is the biggest issue, but I'm also considering LSU winners, not because of this schedule, but because they also have the number one recruiting class in 2025, led by the recent commitment of Grace Knox, the number 6 overall recruit in the country. So LSU getting it done not only on the court, but in the recruiting trail, on the court and in the recruiting trail as well. Kim Mulkey proves to continuously prove that she is one of the best and most dynamic recruiters. They haven't been tested at all this season, but they're building chemistry. They got a lot of new faces that are getting acclimated quick, and I think LSU will be just fine. Rounding out our winners list, man, how about Diamond Johnson and Norfolk State? Now, she averaged 22 points a game last season, left NC State after the Final Four run, went to Norfolk State as a grad transfer, and she's absolutely been hooping. Just led them to their first win over an SEC opponent in the program's history, in the school's history, knocking off Missouri. And hey, man, the Spartans are undefeated right now. Rounding out our winners list, man, how about Diamond Johnson and Norfolk State? Now, she averaged 22 points a game last season, left NC State after the Final Four run, went to Norfolk State as a grad transfer, and she's absolutely been hooping. Just led them to their first win over an SEC opponent in the program's history, in the school's history, knocking off Missouri. And hey, man, the Spartans are undefeated right now. Through their first 3 games, Johnson last game against Missouri, they got the 3-point win as huge underdogs. She had 17 points, 4 assists, 2 steals. Then they beat Longwood. She had 32, 5, 3, and 3 steals as well. And then she had 11, 4, and 6, and another steal against William and Mary. But they are undefeated, and it's looking like it's going to be a historic season for them this year. But Diamond Johnson shocked a lot of people when she went the HBCU route, and she's absolutely been killing. Her name is definitely going to be on draft boards, and she should be in contention to be definitely the MEAC Player of the Year, but maybe even a first-team All-American as well, depending on how this thing goes. So I'm excited to see them continue, but this was a monumental win. This is a game where they trailed and fought back and came back and really helped put their program on the map, in my opinion, for a team that has had success in the past, but definitely got their highest rated recruit in the history of the program with Diamond Johnson decided to go there, and she's just been incredible for them, making an instant impact from day one. So I'm excited to see the rest for Norfolk State and how they end up. On our losers side, I have Iowa, who beat a proud Virginia Tech program who is replacing arguably one of the GOATs in women's college hoops, and they still find themselves outside the top 25, but they did get 60 votes to join the top 25. Lucy Olson has been absolutely incredible. Hannah Stolke, Taylor McCabe, like the supporting cast is there. I love that Lucy Olson is doing it her way. She's not trying to come in and be Caitlin Clark. I will say she is out there chucking, though. She went 9 of 21 in their last game, so she definitely has the green light. She's getting any shot that she wants, and salute to her because she should be the number one scoring option on this team. They get the win 71-52 over Virginia Tech. Hannah Stolke had 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Addison O'Grady has been a player that's really stepped up for them in the front court and that's been there for a little while. She had 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. Olsen had 20 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. And I think that this team is. Sydney Falter made her debut. She came back as well with a quiet 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 points. But she's definitely going to have to be big for them to go where they're trying to get to, and that's win the Big Ten. But this freshman class has been special as well so far, overachieving in expectations. This team is deeper than they were. Coach Jensen has them playing team basketball, sharing the load, really moving the basketball. They're playing fast. We knew Lucy Olson was going to do her thing. She was a must-get recruit and probably the only player in the country that they could have gotten to come there that would be even close to trying to replicate the production that Caitlin Clark had. But Olson's looked fine so far. She's chucking. She shoots a lot of shots. You want to see the field goal percentage improve a little bit, but she's getting acclimated to this system, and I think they're still proving that they are going to have something to say about the Big Ten championship, and they could be a dangerous team in the tournament as well. They're definitely more balanced than last season. And we got to remember, man, it wasn't just Caitlin that left. Kate Martin left. Molly Davis is not there. Gabby Marshall is not there. They're replacing a load of talent and one of their most winningest classes to ever come through there. But they're doing it by committee. And I think with the rise of O'Connell, with the continued development of a Stolke, and with the star power that Lucy Olson brings, Iowa's definitely going to surprise a lot of teams. I really think so. I think people overlook them with Coach Lisa Bluter not leading the way. New coach, new vocal point, new star player. It was a lot of new, but it was also a lot of players that have been around this program that are seeing expanded roles this year that understand the standard that Iowa basketball has grown to be known for. My last list on the loser side is Baylor, who lost to unranked Oregon 76-74. Now, don't get me wrong, Baylor is still a very talented team that I think will make some noise in the Big 12. They were good last year, beat Texas when they were number 1 in the country. They've got some of the quickest guards that can definitely make plays and just kill you from the mid-range. I still think this is a talented team, but this was a game that they were not supposed to lose, and it dropped them to 1-2. They've really been underachieving this game, but this season, I will say. But Jada Walker still remains one of the best mid-range scorers and quickest guards in the country. She had 24 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds. I love Dariana Little-Page Buggs, one of the most versatile forwards, had a double-double, 19 points, 1 assist, and 10 rebounds. Definitely one of the better players in the country that doesn't always get her just due. Sarah Andrews had 13 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, running the show at the one next to Jada Walker. Aaronette Von Lay has had a really slow start to the season. She only had 5 points and 5 rebounds, but she's definitely a special talent when she's locked in. And with her, Little Paige Bugs, Andrews, Walker, like this team is going to be formidable at some point. They just got to figure it out. But Baylor definitely got exposed against Oregon. They had no answer trying to slow down these guards. They had no answer for Deja Wilson, who was out there cooking them, flambeing them, sauteing them, and all types of just in and out basket cold buckets on their noggins. But I definitely think Baylor will turn it around. But them sitting at 1-2 with the level of talent that is on this roster is absolutely nasty work. It's disgusting, to be honest with y'all, and they're definitely going to have to pick it up before the conference play for sure. But they got a talented group. I think they will bounce back. They have a veteran group who was battle tested that really, the main nucleus of this squad is still there. They just got to get it together and play better as a team, man, and definitely play better defensively, because they were not a bad defensive team last year. They've been a terrible defensive team this year, so they're going to need more from the bench as well, but I think they'll turn things around. But those were my week 1 winners, losers, storylines. Y'all holler at me in the comments and let me know. There have been a lot of freshmen that have just been going crazy. Yami Miller at Rutgers had a great game. Silas Swords continues to dominate. Kate Koval, Kennedy Smith. The freshmen go on. Like, there's a lot of talented freshmen this year. And y'all make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and keep just... Hey, follow me on social media at Brandon Lee TV. Just keep showing love, showing support. And we want to break it down. I will probably have a live for y'all later tonight. So much appreciated. That is a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakeney, a.k.a. Brandon Lee TV. Until next time, we out.